Hey, I actually just had to restart the stream. I accidentally hit stop broadcast the last time because I thought I hit the screen share button. But yes, this is the German election live stream take two. I might not delete the first one. That's 2 minutes long, but whatever. I'll just do an introduction. So yeah, this is a lazy, armchair look at the German election, which at first it's not very surprising that Angela Merkel is going to become re-elected chancellor for the fourth term, making her one of the longest-serving chancellors since a certain other Austrian. But the results actually seem to favor the AfD, the right-wing anti-immigration conservative party alternative for Deutschland, which has won over 13% of the vote in the exit polls and is set to enter the parliament for the first time, and apparently be the first. Well, they call them far right. They're more or less just like conservative, like actual conservatives. For the first actual right-wing party to get into German parliament for the first time in 50 years, going from 0 to almost 90 seats. So I'll screen share it. Hopefully I don't stop the broadcast. And this is something Chroma showed me, that on the right here is the Bundestag, the German parliament before the election, and this is the projection now, and the black is Merkel's party, which did have the plurality, meaning it was in a grand coalition with the socialist SPD party, the Social Democrat Party, and that nice big majority they had has shrunk significantly, because she probably lost a lot of seats, both the AfD and the FDP, which is the Germans' liberal party. So this is pretty interesting. And any of you guys have something to say? Got something you want to say?
Interesting that
I'm glad this election is showing a more breakup between the traditional conservative party. I'm kind of glad that both the AfD and the FDP got bigger percentages than both the Greens and
the Linke. It just means that the party's name is just the left.
Yeah,
and it's a maroon pink. It's not the same shade as Chroma's, or is it?
No, mine's magenta.
Yeah.
That one looks more like a mauve.
No. That's like a light rose. This is
the gayest conversation I've ever heard.
Well, we're talking about German politics.
Yeah. So what can you expect?
It sounded like you were talking about painting the house.
Well, who paints a house magenta?
I beg your pardon.
All right.
But yeah, there's not much to say. It's like, again, Merkel's winning fourth term. Not unexpected, but this is a nice sort of strike against the establishment. We all know,
this is the most we could hope for, realistically.
Yeah, and again, politics is downstream from culture. Everybody says that, but no one seems to actually know act that out. But this is nice.
This is nice, because this at least shows that some Germans
have some spine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is a stepping stone towards possibly in the future
a reinstatement of the right.
Yes. Yeah.
I like when they call the AfD right, like far right, where it's like
they're not really.
It's not like they're the NPD.
No, that's the National Democratic Party, which is like actual skinheads. It's like, this is just like, we're conservative, family value. Like, I like the leader of it, Frau Petre. She's sort of like the nega Angela Merkel, where it's like, she actually had kids and doesn't want to destroy a country.
Right. Hey, does anybody know how the coalitions will be set up now? Like, does anybody know?
From the projection, it still shows the CDU, the Christian Democrat, SPD grand coalitions still going to be able to stay. That would be very interesting if the results were a little more skewed and they didn't have a majority. Then things would be very interesting, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
All I see right now as an outcome of this election, because the SDP and the CSU is going to have to going at, they're pretty much just at 50% more or less. I think this is what we're going to see is that we're going to see the minority party have a big stake in the country. And given that the left and the Greens really haven't gotten that much more of a vote, it's going to be the FDP and the AFD deciding that.
If they're exactly at 50%, that means that all you really need.
I think they're
almost.
slightly over.
Like 54%. I mean, that's really small. Really.
But yeah, that's a lot.
It's still majority. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, what I actually more predict out of this is that if I was leader of the AFD, my move would be try and gather what support you could from more dissident voters and stand as a very strong opposition party and criticize and just endlessly criticize everything Merkel and the coalition government does, because
so basically the opposition strategy for everybody ever.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. They haven't even been in like the Bundestag yet, because they're a party that started in 2013, and so for them to go from 0 to like 87 seats is
88 seats.
Well, honestly, I think the best we can hope for is that this scares the shit out of Merkel.
Hey guys,
She reacts in a way. Huh?
I think Merkel's won apparently.
Oh yeah, she has won.
No, yeah,
Surprise.
Oh, for God's
She
sake.
won, but
was
she
never
lost
going to
seats.
lose.
She uses migrant wave. It's super effective.
Yeah.
She is
Merkel was a major thought.
Yeah.
It seems like it seems similar to what happened to Theresa May, where she wins the election, but like this is not good for her public image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The CDU has lost 8% of the vote. The SPD has lost 5% of the vote. That is a massive change from the last election, and that was just 4 years ago. I mean, that's amazing.
Merkel still really popular though? I mean,
Yeah.
overall.
Again,
Like,
the thing is, you have the broader cultural problem of Germans who are still a lot of self-hating, and again, you do have to think most of the people that are like, yeah, I like Merkel, they haven't really thought about this all that much.
I think that if the AFD really wants to play politics, I think what they should do is that they should team up with the FDP to grind the SPD out of existence while trying to recruit dissident voters. Because at least then, maybe Merkel will have to form a coalition with either the FDP or the AFD, therefore destroying the traditional alliance forever. I think that's a much more realistic goal than just trying to, take more and more votes.
So, well, I think the thing is that the problem with these parties is that with these far right, quote unquote, parties is that they're considered so toxic by the mainstream politic that no one wants to make a coalition with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter even if the conservatives wanted to make a coalition. There would be no reason for them to do it because they just don't have.
And what would be very interesting is the CSU, because the Christian Democrats are sort of in a odd sort of sister relationship with the CSU, which is the Bavarian Christian Social Union, which is somewhat more socially conservative than the broader CDU party. I'm wondering if the AFD somehow managed to split that, try and break that sort of sister coalition. I don't know. I don't know if you could, but
no, I think it's great.
I think breaking the CSU and the SPD, the SPD, which is distracting to me because that was one of the series of Power Rangers. Anyway, but that always throws me off because I'm like, is that really what it is? Anyway, sorry. I was going on. Anyway, but I was going to say that really the thing that the minority parties really focus on is breaking that coalition, because that is going to change the German body politic and possibly the EU for good. And I think that's a much more realistic 4-year goal that these parties should be focusing on. Really,
wait, can anyone fucking hear me?
Yeah, we heard
yeah, we heard you.
But what I was going to say is that I think again, being realistic and what they could do with their newfound power, I think the AfD should just just again be as big a thorn in the side of Merkel's government and make as much noise as they can, and basically, I would say try and be like UKIP, make them sort of, because again, what AFD has over the UK system is that UK still has it's not as extreme as it is in the US, but it still has a first past the post system. In Germany is a parliamentary system, so they can actually get into parliament, and they need to make themselves memeable, is what I'm saying. They need their own, like, I don't know, is Frau Petri memeable? She just looks like a...
She's a German. Germans are not memeable.
Yes.
Germans are humorless and not memeable.
Yeah, you're expecting a German to have charisma. That's the first problem.
Yeah, no.
Last time they did
Well,
that.
there was one.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Nigel, he doesn't look great. He's not the smartest guy, but he is a master of banter, which is what made him so popular on the internet.
I think you're giving Nigel a little less credit than he deserves.
Oh no! Well, look, I'm not saying that he's an idiot. I'm just saying that he's out of all of the people in the UK Parliament, I'd say he's about average. The only thing that sets him apart, at least in my estimation, from everybody else in the in UK politics, is that Nigel knows how to banter, and well, not just that he knows how to banter, but that he's not afraid to do it in public places.
How about this? He acts, his sort of disposition and the sort of aura he has around himself, it makes him seem like he's not really a politician. He seems like he's a relatable sort of approachable.
It seems like he's the guy in the pub.
Yes.
Wherever he goes, the pub goes with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's about
I
right.
had to do a research paper on Nigel Farage.
Awesome.
I have his autobiography. I had to read a little bit of it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is Merkel will not live forever.
No, but
Let's pray.
How much? She's like the Pope. How much? It's not a matter of they're going to be there forever. It's how much damage are they going to do before they leave. But I would say this. How about this? We can have female leaders of countries, but they have to have had children, because these like childless spinsters that become leaders of countries and then want to destroy them is sort of disturbing.
Didn't Hillary Clinton have children?
she had one kid.
She had a child.
Politically expedient. For
And
her.
Margaret Thatcher did not have kids either. So wait,
Yeah.
Yeah, Fritz, your theory has fallen flat.
it has
Your
one
theory's
example.
falling
It has
apart.
one
It's falling
example.
apart.
It has like one example, and
Exception.
yes,
There you go.
Example.
100%.
Okay.
Hashtag not all.
Hashtag not all spinsters.
Granger Montag. I actually think, yeah, she might have. I mean, Hitler. Okay, 19. Yeah, he ruled for 13 years. Yeah, no, 12 years. 12 years. Yeah, I think she's ruled longer than Hitler.
She has ruled longer than Hitler. That's not in any way comparing Angela Merkel to Hitler, other than the length of time that they've run.
No, I think they're perfectly comparable. Both of them want to destroy Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you can say whatever you want about Hitler. I'm fairly sure he didn't want to destroy Germany.
No, both of them
There's
want to
Oh, that's
use
that's a
Germany
lie.
to destroy Europe.
That is a flat out lie. He straight up wrote to his subordinates that you know what, I'm just gonna let Germany die and give the world over to the Ubermensch of the East. That's to say the Russians.
Even before then, there was like even before that,
Yeah.
like during their rise to power, the Nazi, there was like Nazi marching songs that like said, you know, we want to destroy Germany, and like there was this sort of dark fatalist, like, you know, destructive attitude where they just wanted to completely purge everything and build this new society. Like Hitler hated the city of Berlin. He hated that. He thought it was like this, you know, Jew-infested merchant, you know,
Bring back the pagans,
swamp,
my man.
and he
I mean,
he really, yeah, and of course the results were he was the worst thing to happen to Germany since Pius. You could take my lead.
Could you throw up a picture of that sort of new Germany that Hitler wanted to design? He's like,
Germania. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, put that up because it's like the most soulless mausoleum of a
Well,
city.
like I watched a documentary on this. It's like it would not have been like Berlin is a swamp.
Yeah,
You can't build that giant mosque. I mean,
Berlin,
dome.
Berlin is a swamp, and Merkel
Drain the
is Shrek.
swamp.
Merkel-
The AFD, and the
As someone who lives in a swamp, I can
Merkel-
confirm that something that big is just going to sink.
But Merkel wouldn't be Shrek. She wants everybody to come in, not leave.
Exactly.
Get into my swamp!
I, white people, get out of my swamp.
Hey, Becky, get into my swamp!
Yeah, Merkel.
That sounds like that sounds like a sexual euphemism.
It
Yeah, look at this damn thing.
Yeah, no,
so
that's-
it says Congress with a giant yard.
Wait, what the?
Yeah.
Is that thing built on a river?
I don't know. Did Hitler just say we'll just get rid of the Spree River? That's the river that runs through Berlin. It's like this looks like something the communists would have built.
Yeah.
And apparently,
Stalin was very close to building a whole new parliament for Russia, and there would have been a big statue of him on top.
Well, and so this is like mosque. This is like Islam mixed with Soviet architecture.
No, it's just a mausoleum. It's just a mausoleum.
No, it's literally just like a classical dome. That's about it.
Oh, I can find this. Oh wait.
Yeah, no, but something that big, if you're building it on basically mud, which is what all swamps are, it's just gonna.
Actually, I had Albert Speer, the head architect of the Third Reich.
Oh yeah, he had huge eyebrows.
Well, that dude is actually good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have his memoirs, and like
He was really
like in his
repentant.
book he has all these like designs and drawings and models of like the buildings, the building projects they were planning, and apparently in Welthauptstadt Germania, New Berlin, they were planning on having a Mussolini monument. It was just a stinky little like obelisk with an M on it. like literally just like a Mickey Mouse stat, like something you like a superhero would wear on his belt buckle. It's Mussolini man.
The least you could do is like put an eagle on top of it. The poor guy. Come on.
Oh no, he's not doing that. Mussolini.
Bippity boppity boopity. I'm Italian.
Mussolini doesn't deserve crap.
Wouldn't it be
No,
a giant
yeah.
pizza, not a giant like obelisk?
Yeah.
Modern art caused World War II.
Honestly,
TBH.
if by modern art you mean World War I, then yes.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about the Kaiser's Germany. At least that was like actual. That wasn't led by psychopathic. Well, some of them were, but they were called Social Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what else should we talk about? I mean, this does seem nice for Germany at least. They did something right.
So Merkel lost?
No.
No. To bring you up to speed, she won her fourth term, but the right-wing conservative AfD party
won.
Yeah, they won. They won over 13% of the vote, so they're going to win 87 or 88 seats.
Nice.
So going from 0 to 88 seats.
Wait a minute. The AfD has won 88 seats.
Yeah.
Is the meme real?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Either 87 or 88, but yeah, like Merkel's coalition with the left-wing Socialist Party, it'll still hold most likely, but both her and their party and the left-wing party have lost.
Well, I do know one thing. I do know one thing. My government teacher won't be very happy about that.
Well, that's good. I don't like your
Mine will love it.
Start blasting the German national anthem at
Which one? Which national anthem?
Heil dir im Siegerkranz would be my preferred one.
My history teacher said autistically, I'm a socialist, not a communist. There's a difference.
Did you tell her?
I think my
start
teacher's
screaming
centrist.
free stuff.
I think my teacher's an enlightened
He
centrist.
brings
picks
2
up.
bottles of Diet Pepsi in every fucking day and drinks both of them.
You should give him the tendies, goddammit. I mean,
Yeah.
then he'd be right wing.
So anyway, I'd like to sort of draw a comparison between this election and the French election.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, the French election was disaster for Le Pen.
Well,
Whereas
here's the thing: is that I just want to say one thing. The difference is, Pius, is that again, Germany is a parliamentary system, so it's based on whatever percentage of the votes your party gets is how many seats you get. Like they don't really. Germany actually had a presidential election, but their president has no power.
Yeah,
This is their parliamentary election for chancellor, and
okay.
this is actually more applicable to the British election that happened earlier this year, where Theresa May won, but she lost a bunch of seats.
Well, yeah, I know that.
All right, Blackjack. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. So, did we actually ever look at the I don't know if it's called Parliament or whatever, but the French elections for their National Assembly?
I don't know when those are.
Well, they're right after the presidential election.
I thought they were concurrent.
No, they're not concurrent.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. So that would be something to look at.
They're
because
legislative
honestly, yeah, they're legislative election because that would be, it was kind of unrealistic of us to sort of expect any Le Pen to win. Like, to be honest, the only one who even had a tiny glimpse of a chance was not what was his name? Francois Fillon.
Nice, more centrist, social conservative.
He was at least a practicing Catholic.
That too.
Yeah, well, apparently in their National Assembly elections and over the summer, the far right won 6 seats, so they have 8 seats in the National Assembly.
And what about
the
just
Front
normally?
National?
What about Fillon's party?
That's just the conservative.
The Republican. They have 100.
Republicans.
They have 100 seats.
Okay, did that go up or down?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I know Fillon pretty much.
Oh no, yeah, it went down. They lost 90. Wow, they lost 93 seats.
The thing was that Fillon was caught in that whole scandal where he was like paying his wife to do nothing or whatever, and then he was set to win the presidential election.
Yeah. I mean, look, Fillon was doing what every French politician ever has done. So I'm not going to
corrupt.
Yeah, I'm not going to fault him for that, but he still shouldn't have.
So yeah, again, just to bring up to speed, the AfD is looking. It's going to probably be the 3rd largest party in German parliament.
Well, that's good.
That's all that really matters.
And
the thing is that they just have to not screw it up.
So
basically, what they should do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so what it looks like then is that the situation we're running towards is a Germany that, although, to be fair to Fillon, or not Fillon, Macron, he actually, he surprised me a little bit with some of the stuff he said. Like,
he's a monarchist.
Yeah.
But he's done the typical, socialist. Well, he's not that much of a socialist, but he's done the typical, lefty globalist things where he's like, he doesn't like Trump, all that stuff. But at the same time, I think he at least recognizes that France needs some changes and the EU needs some changes. I don't know if that's because he's French and he feels like being contrary now, or
not for the migrancy issue though. That's one of the more important ones, and then that one he is more status quo kind of guy.
Yeah. But I don't know. I look. He hasn't been as bad as I thought he would, but that doesn't mean he's good. But I mean, as far as what this means for Germany, it doesn't mean much yet.
Yeah, and I think to me it's like or what I was saying earlier, just to update Pius, is that I think because the AfD is now going to be an opposition party, they'll just, if they're smart, if they'll do what opposition parties do, which is constantly and endlessly criticize the ruling government and blame everything that's going wrong on them.
On them, yeah.
The other party that actually has done well is the FDP, which is their liberal party. That would be interesting if those two decided to form a little mini coalition.
No,
So
when you say liberal, do you mean like skeptic liberal or like?
I think I don't know, probably free market, social liberal.
So basically,
libertarians. But so
a bunch of centrists.
Yeah, they should join together and form the National Liberal Party. That was one of the old parties in the Imperial German Parliament. So it's okay, free markets, moderate on social issues, but we love war. So basically,
so what you're telling me is they're neocons.
Yes, the Germans had neocons before it was cool.
Which means they had neocons before they were neocons.
All the way before the boomers were even born.
Yes, they were. That face when Germany is the original boomer post.
Well, they're old enough.
Yeah.
Here's what happens to stocks currency. Blah blah blah.
So actually, that's another interesting thing that you just brought up, Chris. What did happen to the well, I guess they used the euro. So what did happen to the euro?
Oh yeah, let me check the euro right now.
Look at the currency markets. Look at the currency markets.
Do you have any links to that?
No. It's called the money markets. They call it the money markets.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they're called the money markets. Yeah.
But they always call it the money markets, but they don't know what they're talking about.
Did we lose shekels?
Well, I didn't lose any shekels because I don't have any money in the currency market. But
I'm reading a left-wing German Tumblr posts about the election, and it's pretty funny.
Okay, can you read it to us?
Here. The really scary result about this election is that the right populist, open nationalist, and in the recent times, more racist-leaning AFD is the second strongest party in my country. And then someone replied, lol, open nationalist, as if that's a bad thing. And then someone else replied, why are the Germans so whipped, LMAO?
Deutschland über alles.
No, Deutschland über Allah. Well, actually, that would be even more based. Germany is above God.
Correct.
That's so bad.
Well, then the Germans are heretics. Then the Germans are heretics.
Well, yeah, but what's new? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to apologize to Bavaria.
Oh, somebody put somebody put in the Discord. So wait, AFD 14% with 88 seats.
Yeah, no, the euro did not change at all.
Oh. Well,
Fritz,
the AFD wants to bring back them. Sorry, what?
I said, Fritz, someone's starting the hashtag in your chat, Prussian Renaissance now.
Well, that's the reason the euro didn't change.
Fritz, you know if you respond, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I'm not responding.
The euro didn't
if I make the video, I'll release the video.
Markets are closed on Sunday.
Yeah, the markets are closed on Sunday.
That's smart of them to have an election on this day. Or to close the markets on Sunday.
Mershon.
What did he do?
If Jack gained weight, would he be Jack Black?
Yes, I would. If I gained weight, I would be Jack Black.
You could be in a movie.
I had my breakfast for lunch today. I had 3 eggs, bacon. And
I didn't eat until about 15 minutes ago, right after I got home.
No, honestly, same here. Like I just ate.
It was so cool to meet the Archbishop Emeritus of New Orleans today.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, somebody tweeted.
We should probably talk about the German election because that's what this
Yeah.
All right, somebody tweeted. Looking like a pretty sad result of the German election. I really hoped it wouldn't be that bad. It's like, I don't know what side is he on. It's like, because the thing is, this is again, you can be upset about Merkel winning, sure, because she sucks, but like this is probably the best result the AFD could reasonably hope for.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna read some more. I'm gonna read some more. Here we go.
Okay.
13% for the freaking AFD. Absolutely and utterly disgusting. Screw them and all the people who voted for them. Here's another one. Welcome back to Nazi Germany. Thanks to everyone who voted for MAGA parties for fun. They didn't vote because they'd have to read up on politics, and the racist, xenophobic Nazi fucks voting for the AFD because they don't want to talk.
Are you
xenophobic Nazis?
Now we have to deal with Christian parties and a right-wing extremist party in the Bundestag. My heart goes out to the thousands of Muslims, refugees, children of immigrants, single parents, LGBT folks, elderly people, and others who can't afford housing and care.
Free market. How dare they?
Generally, everyone it's generally everyone who wasn't born into a rich Christian white family with 4 BMWs. Cheers.
Look. I wish, guys. I wish I had some of this salt a couple of minutes ago when I was eating, because it would have just
Made it
Here we go.
flavorful.
Here we go. Honestly, this
everyone quiet.
election was terrible, but everyone calling the AFD openly racist, ultra-right, homophobic, and all those other things is something I am genuinely glad about. Thanks for calling them out.
Sure.
Oh, come on,
sure.
vote up a little more. Come on,
Hey,
they're going to win
that-
87 seats. Why can't
So
they win
it looks like
88?
that over 13% of the voters in my country want me all to die. I'm not and now they cry time.
Just
I'm not
13%?
terrified at all.
Get in the ovens. Rev up
Get 'em
those
fucking-
fryers.
Those fryers.
Let me get that meme up.
I think probably that's the worst thing we could do. Like, if we're honest, is make the AFD actually sort of comparable to not. Like,
You know what's even funnier is
it's a terrible idea for me.
One of the leaders of the AFD is a lesbian. It's like, how are they homophobic? It's weird. It's like she's a lesbian, but she's against gay marriage.
Good for her.
Oh, it's because she's ignored.
She's like, it's like, it's like, I have my personal private life, but it's like, yeah, I'm still in favor of traditional family values.
Yeah. I mean,
It's exactly like Milo, except not cringy and doesn't make me want to kill myself. Or
And an actual blonde.
Doesn't have
and
like,
an actual shots fired. Contact list.
Well, speaking of Milo, so yeah, Free Speech Week didn't happen.
Oh well.
Well, that's why this is nice, because it gave it a little hope,
top 10 anime death scenes, free speech.
There's no hope for California. California needs to be made a territory.
Okay, listen to this.
Yeah, revert it to a territory.
Guys, I've got another one here. American here. What's going on with the German elections right now? And Godspeed. And then someone replied, "Oh man, dude, you don't want to know." Basically, this super right-wing party called Alternative for Deutschland, that is literally advocated for shooting refugees in public, has gotten so many votes in the elections in several states today. Double digits everywhere. Most of whom were just people who voted for AFD to teach the other parties a lesson. It's basically like we've got our own Donald Trump now.
Donald Trump?
Except not at all.
Except not at all.
No, about this. No, it's the third alternative for Deutschland.
Yeah. So anyway, have they actually? I don't think they have.
This is the actual thing where that comes from.
Oh wait, here's another one. Now I really want to complain for a second.
I'm going to do this first.
Okay.
What happened is one of them advocated that when it comes to defending, the borders, is advocated. So they sort of said alluded to a policy of, well, if somebody tries to illegally cross the border, you might be able to shoot them.
Oh,
to
okay,
defend
so
your border.
It was a might, like you might be able to shoot them if they're trying to cross.
It's sort of just tossing about. It's like, okay, we want to defend our borders. How would we do it?
Well,
Totally,
you could start by, and I don't know,
Having a
maybe
border.
having a border patrol, like the Austrians.
Wait, somebody said there's protests outside the AFD headquarters.
Good.
Oh, I got another one. Now I really want to
they're
complain
crazy.
a second. We're going to have Angela Merkel again, and that's not even the worst. Her party got way more votes than I expected. I swear I feel like going home and crying into a pillow. When you're voting here, you might vote for the lesser evil. There might be 2 or 3 points that I agree on with the CDU, but they are not the points that are important to me. Good thing I have alcohol at home. Here's to another 4 years of homophobic, Christian, conservative, environmentally harmful BS.
Wait. Did they just call Angela Merkel a Christian?
Yeah, that's what they called Angela Merkel.
Yeah, so Angela Merkel is the right-wing.
She's supposed to be the leader of
This guy's pissed off that the SFP or whatever didn't just completely dominate.
No,
and actually
not only did they not dominate, they lost votes. Like,
yeah, they got kicked in the teeth for this election.
No,
I'm trying to.
That's the funny part, is that they thought that this was going to be a big struggle between Angela Merkel and Martin Schulz of the SDP. No, both of them ended up losing a good number of seats. They still can form their coalition, but AFD walked in with its big dick swinging in.
I'm trying to figure out how somebody
here's a long post.
One at a time. Pius, go.
Here's a long post. What happened in the German elections, if you don't mind my asking? I don't mind you asking at all, but okay, let me tell you what happened. So today we had 3 elections in 3 states, Rhineland-Pfalz, Sachsen-Anhalt, and Baden-Württemberg. Okay, so since the refugee crisis, there has been a lot, and I mean a lot of right-wing activity, especially in the east of Germany. This relatively new party, Alternative for Deutschland, is really right-wing, and listen, you don't want them in the German parliament. Here are some things they're advocating to do. To have more power in the press, they want to stop liberal propaganda as well as homosexual propaganda, and they want to put father, mother, child, family more in focus. That's a bad thing.
That's
They want to bring back the Wehrpflicht, which is a service that all young men have to do after school. They have to go into the army.
Beautiful.
They want to make abortion hard to acquire. They don't like LGBT people. They don't like refugees, and they would love to get them all out of our country. They want to get rid of the euro and the European Union because in the 1930s everything was so much better. Sorry, not sorry.
This is a wonderful party.
They also believe that men are.
To vote for him.
They also believe that men are being discriminated against in searching for jobs because of the Frauen quote, which is a quote where the government wants to make sure that enough women are getting in jobs because only 30% of leadership. Because only 30% of leadership jobs are occupied by women. They want to get rid of it. They kind of want to get rid of sex education because they don't want children to be sexualized. They think climate change is BS or over-exaggerated. I don't even know, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Did I mention that there are men? Did I mention that they actually think that men are being discriminated against? One more thing, the leader said that we should actually shoot refugees in public when they try to come in. Like, shoot them with a gun, children, you know? I can't believe she said that. Ugh, 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 ugh. I could go on all day, but these are only.
Yeah, but
our government right now has been a bit weak and was fighting a lot. Like, seriously, even I was annoyed. Now people will said that they either won't vote or will vote for the AfD out of protest. Now I need a lot of people to know that the AfD is right wing. A lot of Nazis love them, racist, homophobic, and sexist people too. So now we have in the polls and in Sachsen-Anhalt that they have 24%, Baden-Württemberg 15%, and Rhineland-Pfalz 10%. This is definitely not good. So this is why a lot of German people are so enraged, because this is a very conservative right-wing party that only has BS in their program, and it's just not good at all. By the way, the right-wing activity has been really bad. Houses have been burned down. People threatened, hurt, cried, insulted. For goodness sake, they made children cry in a car.
Antifa's out in force today, isn't it?
Fuck you, Saxony, or the people who engaged it, and fuck you, Nazis. Go somewhere else.
Well,
I think they don't even know that.
Wait, so they just said "fuck you" to the birthplace of Bach.
Where's Charlemagne? We need him.
Where is Charlemagne? When you need him?
Yeah. From that platform, yeah, that's a wonderful party platform.
Yeah, no, my favorite part is where he says, like, oh, they think men are discriminated against. Now let me name the exact policy that discriminates against them.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's that they named the policy that discriminates against men first. And then
and then they said they actually think they discriminate against men, lol.
You just said how they were.
Yeah, because again, more broadly, the policy.
Listen, I love reading left-wing Tumblr, Saul. It's so much fun.
The policy of the AfD is generally they are socially conservative. So, like, you know, they're pro-life. They're, you know, socially conservative when it comes to family. It seems they're fairly against sex ed. They're obviously anti-immigration. They're anti-Euro. They're anti-EU.
They sound perfect, to be honest.
It's like if you actually had a Republican Party in Germany. Which is interesting because there actually used to be a party in Germany called the Republicans, which was sort of conservative, sort of like 1950s conservative type party, but it never.
Well, that's like my favorite kind of conservative party, 1950s conservatives. I like Ike. I like him.
We got some new posts. Okay,
oh boy.
At the people who voted for Alternative for Deutschland, fuck you for being so hateful, so narrow-minded, so uninformed, and so uncaring towards our shameful history. You are willing to make history repeat itself because you're scared of Muslims and hateful. Fuck you.
Mo white guilt.
There's not enough alcohol in my house for these election results.
Well, go to your Muslim friend. No, go to your Muslim friend and ask for some alcohol. Then
I don't want this to be my new reality. More than 13% of my countrymen want bigotry, hate, racism, and homophobia. We must resist.
No, German
resist capitalism.
German resist.
You know what should be funny? You know what we should get. You know what we should do? We should crash this thing, and with no survivors by like faking us being upset about this result by putting German flag filter over our Twitter thing, Twitter, Facebook things, and so you get all these you get all these.
Someone in your chat thinks I'm actually saying this stuff. I'm quoting Tumblr posts.
No, you get all these.
I'm not actually saying that.
Let's get all these lefties to start putting a German flag filter on their Twitter profile.
A German flag.
Yeah, because it's like no, we'll make it seem like this was a tragedy for Germany that the AfD won so many votes. So we put the filter over.
That's beautiful. That's a good idea.
It's kind of weird that that one guy said that FU Saxony, even though Saxony really doesn't have a lot of the votes.
Saxony's
Yeah, no,
Really,
when the Bavarians vote, that's when this shit gets.
the Bavarians, I think they're still sticking to.
Well, they vote CSU. That's
Here we got another one. This one's from everknowing.tumblr.com. I'm in shock. I said to my colleagues earlier that I expected the AfD to win at least 10%, but I can't believe it actually happened. What the fuck is wrong with my people? How could you vote for a party like that? What were you thinking when you put your pin down? Do you really hate women, LGBT, Jews, and immigrants and disabled people so much that this seemed like a good idea?
There aren't any Jews in Germany.
Do you even consider that you're putting the Nazis back into our Bundestag again? Or is that okay as long as it doesn't affect you personally? What were you thinking? And while we're at it, if you're over the age of 18 and eligible to vote and you voted alternative for Deutschland or didn't vote at all, please unfollow my blog.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the leader of apparently this evil Nazi party. That you'll be shocked at this soulless monster. I will show you.
Okay, so by sort of the regional standards.
Look at this.
It looks
Yes.
like
Wait. Why does he have the correct mustache?
Sister.
That's a woman.
That is a
It
woman.
looks like Rachel Maddow's sister.
Oh my god, she looks like a
doesn't have
lesbian. Oh
Yeah,
my
but she was married
brother?
she was married to a pastor and has 4 children.
Huh. Wait, was
They divorced sadly.
I was just going to say that that really.
Well, what can you do, Protestants, right?
She is the anti-Merkel though.
She's the anti-Merkel.
All right.
I was going to say that really the support for AfD, the support for the AfD pretty much lies in Eastern Germany and South.
Prussia.
Yes.
Yeah, Prussia and Southwest Germany, pretty much.
So then I think I know how we must end this the stream.
Oh, we can keep it going for a little bit longer.
Okay, well,
I know
how we're gonna do this.
Basically, if the CSU were to endorse the AfD, they pretty much have Bavaria. I'm pretty damn sure.
No, yeah,
but it's pretty much Western Germany that really hasn't adopted to them. If they're smart, they would.
You mean French Germany?
Well, according to this, it's Eastern Germany that's actually going for the AfD.
Do you have any? Where are you getting? Where's the sources? Can you show me the any links?
I'm saying according to these Tumblr posts, it is. According to these
how accurate?
They keep blaming East Germany, and they keep saying that it's Saxony's fault. Remember?
It's not Saxony's fault. Saxony as a region is very small.
Yeah, the Prussians took a big chunk out of it. I wonder how Brandenburg did. How the last actual Prussian territory.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take images from.
Oh, here we go. Dear world, as a German, I am ashamed and saddened by the result of this election. Not 80 years after the war, and we again have right-wing Nazis sitting in our parliament. If you aren't the people, you aren't patriots, because German culture is not white, it's not straight, it's not moderate Christian, and it's not conservative. German culture is compassion and progress, learning from our past and moving forward. German culture is colorful and diverse, it's democratic and fair. You are not people.
Whitey is sorry.
You are not people. You are Nazis. You are not people.
That's pretty much Tumblr's opinion on the right wing in a nutshell.
It's great. No, but
Whitey.
Yeah, the picture shows
so,
this is where
these two pictures are from 2013 data, but I think they still have the same representation more or less. Yeah, one image is federal representation in federal states, and the other one is more like voting percentages in a more
this is from 2013. This is their federal thing. So a lot of stuff in Saxony, Brandenburg, and Baden-Württemberg. Actually, that's where my ancestors are from, the Black Forest in Baden area. The other one is what is it? Yeah, this is where they're local, because Germany is a federal republic. This is where they had like local seats in. Which, thank goodness, Germany is a federal system, because
I don't think they wanted Bavaria, because there's like a Catholic party in Bavaria that usually wins about 50% of the.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like, can you imagine if Germany was a unitary system? Like,
that would suck so much.
Imagine if they were as unified, because that's the only thing holding back Merkel and the globalists from total absolute power is the fact that like Bavaria is notorious for like saying go fuck yourselves. Okay, they are the Texas of Germany.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware. Bavaria is the Texas of Germany.
It's great.
Does that make Austria Mexico?
Yes, Austria is
Yes,
Mexico.
exactly.
Yes, Austria is Mexico.
Well,
And
actually, Poland
Canada?
is the Mexico of Europe.
No, Poland is the
Oh,
Poland
that's not
of
fair.
Poland.
Poland is the Poland of Poland. Yeah,
Poland
goes back
is
to
the
Poland.
Texas of Europe.
Well, I mean, Poland is
That's-
Mexico
yeah.
in terms of the fact that it exports its people group to every other European nation. But I mean, it's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah,
Wait,
it
what would
doesn't do
be
that
Canada?
that much.
They apparently have they're apparently one of the safest countries in the world to live in.
Well, at least
Yeah.
from Islamic extremists.
in Switzerland.
That's
very
a lot of
unlikely.
problems, honestly.
But there was that one time in the 1500s where the Muslims fought the Poles,
And then the way
Not
two
doing that again.
stars arrived.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Poles are like, I think before they decided to eventually leave the EU, they want to like extradite as much stuff as they can out of it. Because like,
Well, yeah,
they
that's
want
the plan.
$1 trillion in reparations from Germany for World War II now. They're just like give. I love this. Like there was a European
Gives money.
an EU court case said, yeah, you have to take in migrants, and Poland's like, no. And then they said,
Give us money.
and by the way, Germany, give us money.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, the president of Poland has pretty much said, we are not interested in any European superstate. We are only interested in money.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is it's
What the fuck? I love Poland now.
Guys,
Yeah,
let me show you. I'm gonna screen share for a second just to show you this meme I saw. Wait, on Tumblr.
Oh, hold on.
Let me see.
It's like AFD is like an anime girl, and then there's like every single other party in Germany's like got knives.
Yeah.
Except for the LGBT, which is a dildo, but.
And then this one
That's
guy's
funny.
got a microphone.
That's the news.
Yeah, there
I
are
think.
two
That's the mainstream
microphones.
media.
That the mainstream meteor.
It's got a sickle over here.
Imagine my shock.
Yeah.
Paul Joseph Watson actually had a thing that says today the German people fought against the German establishment. It's like not
What?
all of them. They're good. This
Is
was
that like his
a
fucking
bit of a
catchphrase or
blow,
something?
but this is good.
Yeah, Paul is nuts. No.
I wish Paul would say it more like, today, the German people.
Und für dieses Volk.
Yeah, no matter what emotion he feels, he always talks like that.
Yeah, no, it's just today the German people have shocked me. And you cannot
I
oppose it.
hate Michael Moore.
Fuck
Yes.
the Pope.
Yeah.
That's what he said. No, wait, what has he said? He said, he says the German establishment has been trounced.
Yeah.
The German establishment has been trounced.
Now you're starting to sound like Trump. The German establishment has. How on earth is Frau Petri like Trump? Like she's not the thing.
Trump at all.
The thing it seems like she does not have like. Well, it's pretty understandable why the Germans would be afraid of having a political, super charismatic cult of personality leader.
Yeah.
Which is better because that built a longer lasting movement that can outlast the leader. You know.
Yeah, cults of personality.
She's just like, okay, I'm gonna do my best because I want to help my country.
You know, cults of personality tend to burn out pretty quick.
You got a new one, Pius?
Oh, here's another one. Wait. I found another one, and it's all these pictures of Angela Merkel cutting kebab, and someone said, "I clearly underestimated the time our chancellor has spent chopping kebab."
Let me see this.
Apparently, when she isn't running our country, Angela Merkel helps out at a Turkish restaurant. I'm glad for her. Everyone deserves a hobby where they can take their mind off things and wield a huge knife.
Merkel's the only one who chops kebab. Everyone else, kebab chops you.
Except for when the winged hussars arrive.
Mm-hmm. Then the kebab is removed.
There's some
Go back to
some
service.
guy there's some guy who identifies as politically as a fascist, and he's like, all I want, fascist. He's like, all I want is for these Islamic guys to embrace a German dictatorship. And I told him like the first problem is that every single one of these guys are cowards, right? They're of fighting age, but they left the war in order to prey on innocent women and children.
Mm-hmm.
Are those? They're cowards, and you're an idiot.
Oy vey.
I know, right?
Well, the thing is, most of them aren't from Syria in the first place. The ones who are, yes, you're right, are cowards.
Yeah, they are cowards. They're just straight up cowards. And this guy's like, oh, but they're Islamic, so they like dictatorship. So it's good, right? It's good, right? Because just fascism. Fascism is good, guys.
Yeah, authoritarianism is authoritarian.
No. If your ideology isn't fascism, don't even talk to me.
Let's keep that meme out of here, please.
I'm a fascist for fashion.
So I have here's a movie we can talk about. So what are our thoughts about these different electoral systems? Like thoughts on the fact that Germany is
they should all convert to the master governmental system.
Jeffersonian first past the post.
Yes, yes.
So here's a Twitter post. Congratulations to Angela Merkel on her 4th term as Chancellor of Germany. Yet 13.5% Nazis is pretty scary. So like, congratulations to your 4th term as Chancellor. 13.5% of the people opposed that are the Nazis.
Yeah, it's like maybe
European Jews worried by far-right victories in German elections.
Honestly, like the only Jewish people who should be worried about the AfD are the Jewish people who aren't Jewish.
Like Martin Schultz.
Yes, like Martin Schultz.
Gentilian Jews.
Or German, or George Soros.
Or George Soros, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Black helicopters.
I am George Soros.
The Jews that are culturally Jewish have no...
I do not like the AfD because they want to destroy my vision. Germany is mine. Europe is mine. The world is mine.
Well, the funny thing is that George Soros, when you look at George Soros, he almost is a cartoon villain.
Like, he is a cartoon villain.
He's an anime villain.
He is a cartoon villain.
Top 10 anime villain. This George Soros.
He really is, though.
Here's something. Now this makes this article look even. I can laugh at this one now because. Hold on, just let me screen share this. If you like the Pope, I'm sorry, but yeah, how Angela Merkel and Pope Francis are reshaping the world. He's giving her the finger.
Look at that.
Look at that face.
I like it.
Yes.
What the fuck?
It's almost like he's
That is
beckoning him toward her with his middle finger.
The Pope and the Chancellor want a more humanized globalism, but could this backfire? When Germans go to the polls Sunday, they are likely to re-elect Angela Merkel as Chancellor, an office she's occupied since 2005. Her expected victory will be all the more remarkable given that the recent populist backlash against the global establishment has tended to see her as its chief enemy. Many had thought she would not survive the anger of that her handling of the refugee crisis inspired. To her enemies, she is the leader of a technocratic, globalist European establishment with black helicopters. But yeah, apparently, like it says that there's actually a divide by Christians, because I think this is the way I see it, is that a lot of well-meaning Christians think that this is Catholics and Protestants, whatever, think that letting in all these refugees and all that is sort of showing a Christian compassion. But I think on the other side, it's, well, we need to keep our Christian identity because, if there's not Christianity coming out of Europe and it's ruled by Islam, well, then how does Christianity survive?
Yeah, plus I don't remember where in the Gospels it commands the state to
exactly.
That's a person.
It's like if you want to take in a refugee yourself into your house, I think you should be allowed to. But the fact is that, like, are you really willing to? They say, like, we're doing this to love our neighbor, but it's like, are you willing to let your other neighbors, like your American neighbors, are you going to put their lives and safety in danger because of you want to feel good about yourself?
Or the culture in danger? I mean, on the crime and terrorism, because that's the least of our worries. It's the loss of cultural hegemony of Christianity that I'm most worried about.
Well, you know what? I thought about this is that, like, real talk for a second, Anarchist Baron. Fuck. No. What I was going to say is that we'll edit this out.
Fucking better than you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think yeah, fuck it, we'll do it live. Sorry, what I was saying is that I think that at this point, though, probably the best thing to happen to Europe, that should happen to Europe, to start fixing this, would be to re-Christianize them. Because I think that trying to do this where like a secular sort of revival of European sort of pride,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, it has to come from Christianity.
Yeah, I would certainly say that in terms of getting others to our side, like in terms of, I think we have much more hope, for example, converting Muslims to Christianity than we do to converting them to atheism, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have an easier time converting Muslims to Christianity than you have atheists to Christianity. That's the difficult thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Quran refers to Jesus as the Word of God, which does not refer to Muhammad, I believe.
Well, again, this is the thing with Muslims is that many of them just have not actually heard about like the truth about Christianity. Like they have not actually heard it from a Christian source. They probably.
In fact, this is actually kind of interesting. Europe is probably the only place where Christians could proselytize to Muslims and not worry about getting,
Well, America.
Well, obviously America, but I mean, like large Muslim populations. America does not really have Muslim population.
Well, and that's what I think. I think that like Christians should start like investing in more mission trips to Europe rather than
that's what I think.
South America, because Latin America is outside of Venezuela is developing more and more, and it's like eventually
there's
much of Argentina is already a first world country. Chile is on the Human Development Index. Both Chile and Argentina are listed as very high.
There's absolutely no reason to send any mission trips into South America unless you're going into the Amazon jungle. And really, going into the Amazon jungle, you're going in to find 5 people in a tribe somewhere. And you're probably going to die of snake bites or some.
I want to make
going to be killed by the tribesmen.
Or you're going to be killed by the tribesmen.
You guys should watch there was a Joe Rogan podcast with Steven Ranella, who's like this outdoorsman hunting guy that lived with like a tribe of guys in Guyana. It's actually a really, really fascinating conversation. So I'd actually recommend you go watch that.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
But
no. So what we've decided, or what we've discovered,
included
mission trips to South America are. Mission trips to Europe are actually probably going to be the most profitable anybody could undertake.
The difference, though, is that it's very difficult to convert atheists to Christianity because the fact that
it takes like a week.
You just gotta.
It takes like a straight, and I'm not saying like take you a week of actual time. I'm saying it's going to take you a week's worth of work. Like you're going to have to 9 to 5. Those 9 to 5 hours need to add up to however many hours are in a week. I'm not.
Well, I think the thing is that eventually you're going to get into a situation where like they haven't actually even heard of Christianity, rather than like they don't even really understand what Christianity is. Like I'm talking about atheists in Europe, they're going to be in that position, and I think that would make them much more receptive to hearing the gospel.
I do think
as someone who was an atheist. As someone who was an atheist and got converted to Christianity, I could say if people are claiming to actually be proper skeptical fucking atheists, then
liberal.
if you show someone who's actually open to evidence Christianity, they're probably gonna convert. But I mean, the problem with the liberals in Europe, though, the atheist liberals, is that they have such a surface knowledge of Christianity that they think that Christianity just consists of hating gay people and stupid shit like that.
Well,
instead of
love. I also want to say that I don't think that most Christians nowadays really know how to evangelize to atheists because they all
No, not at all.
they all think that it's the exact same way as evangelizing to like Hoonga Boongas in the
Well, that is one of the reasons why there is a bigger. You do see an investment more in like mission trips to like Africa. Is because
mission trips to Africa are not pointless, but mission trips.
No, yeah, like yeah, but it's like you go to like the church I was at today. It's like they're starting work with they're starting work in Chad. And I love this. The guy they brought like from Chad to like telling him them about like all the work they're doing. He said I married a woman named Fatima from a Muslim family. It's like yes, he cucked a Muslim. Although he's got to watch his back. I don't think
he does got to watch. You do got to watch your back if you do that.
And the thing is, this is the thing. If you're
unless it was part of a tribal arrangement, and then you're all.
If you're against mass immigration, these sort of like trips to help like make sustainable stuff in Africa is good. It's great because it's like okay, so now they have they have more reason to stay in Africa because
there are several African countries that can be made not shit. Just with the war and some proper
that continent is
You can't do that because they're not war. Because they're not war, they can't be together.
What are you saying?
He's trying to be part of the alt-right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've talked to some of these people. It's the worst. It's
literally all I heard was autistic spurging, and I really guessed it from
That's
that.
about right. But like
autistic, I'm not gonna lie.
It's
here's the thing. I think most. I think a lot of this is gonna sound like stupid dad wisdom, but it's like I think a lot of these stuff like ADD, OCD, anxiety, and autism are sort of first world diseases.
Yeah.
It's like I imagine like the environment we're living in, cushy office computer environments, like high stimulation environments have got to have a weird effect on the brain.
Someone tagged me in the live chat and they said it's not my job to save souls, it's not my role. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're a Christian, then you should be committed to that.
It's not my job.
I'm sorry, but if you call yourself a Christian, you should be committed to salvation of souls. That's like
that's what Jesus said.
I hate how there's this divide in the right that's like, oh, some people are like, hey, why give a shit about Africans? And it's like, well, if you're a fucking Christian, then...
That's like part of your religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I
mean, your Great Commission, like... I mean, the Great Commission was a thing that happened. I mean, you can't deny that it did.
But what about said, here's one of Europe elects.
Our blessed Lord told us to go and preach the gospel unto all nations, unto every living creature.
So I just wanted to interrupt. Yeah. So one thing called Europe elects on Twitter said Germany ARD exit poll SPD, the Social Democrat Party, loses parties, I guess, seats to almost all other parties. Like, yeah, they lost seats to the AfD, FDP, Green Party, and the left.
Who's supporting the Green Party at this point?
I don't know.
It's always been just hippies.
Yeah.
So are we talking about the American Green Party or the German Green Party?
The German.
Oh, it's the same. Probably.
They're socialists that just say that
similar
color green instead of red.
The Greens should call themselves. They should call
themselves socialism, but in green.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Watermelon socialism.
They should call themselves alternative for SPD. They should call themselves alternative for SPD. I mean, that's pretty much what they are.
But again, no. If Tumblr's right, and this is like a fascist Nazi party, it should be third alternative for Deutschland.
I think this would be a good question. I think this would be a good question for us to answer. Someone tagged you, Fritz, and said, "You guys do realize that large chunks of Africa are Christian but still stuck."
Yes. No. We just imagine that after an area has Christianity, you don't need to do anything else because it's all taken care of.
But it does. Here's what it does.
First off, also one of the reasons why we encourage mission trips is because a lot of the mission trips aren't just going to preach; they usually help build schools or churches
and wells and stuff like that.
So they'll help bring mosquito nets, stuff like that. It's not just
Funzu not die.
I think
you don't go there you don't go there and give Mbanga a Bible and then leave. It's like you have to
I really think that the whole mission system should be more like it was in the west of America, where the missions basically were sort of self-contained units that they then you held schools there. You had sort of a where everything could be coordinated for the area.
I want somebody to make a parody of Silence, but it's like American missionaries in Europe, where it's like
Honestly,
it's like the horses up on a picture.
I would watch that movie. I would.
Echo.
Well, because you could sort of interpret that as that movie as like the Japanese government is sort of like, you can compare that to our secular government today, where it's like, yeah, it's fine if you have this tiny little faith that you don't ever let anybody see on the inside, but it's like, we're just gonna squash it everywhere else. And it's like, and I like what the distributist said about the movie, where it's like, the Japanese, like, the Buddhist inquisitor is like going, Christianity just can't grow in Japan. It just doesn't work. And it's like, yes, because you're killing all the Christians here. And that's what I would always say to any white person that thinks Buddhism is awesome, and be like, yeah, they're like just so peaceful compared to the Christians. Yeah, they're really
what's
peaceful.
going on in Myanmar.
It's like, yeah, they were all. I would also just put, yeah, they're really peaceful when they were pouring boiling water over the heads of Christians.
Don't forget
the Catholic Church suffered the worst persecution it ever suffered in Japan. I mean,
even the Romans weren't that bad.
No, and I mean the way Japan persecuted Christianity, it's the only way to really successful.
Well, again, the way it seems like the persecution of Christians in China right now is it's following a similar formula the Romans did, and the formula that they both did is the worst thing if you want to get rid of Christianity, because it's like occasional persecutions that creates martyrs and just pisses everyone off, that are very expensive and make you look bad, then followed by a period of like uncomfortable coexistence. And like China is getting a very, very large Christian population. Like I think the statistics say it's like 500,000 people in China convert to Christianity every year.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
In a population of 1 billion, though, that's not that
sure
much.
But the thing is, like right now though, there's now estimated more Christians in China than there are members of the Communist Party.
Well, yeah, members of the Communist Party wouldn't be that much.
They're not allowed to be religious.
I'm saying they wouldn't, be that.
Oh wait,
large.
shit! Hold on. Some news. Apparently, the now latest projection says AFD at 94 seats.
Whoa.
I get it.
Wait, what percentage is that?
I don't know. It keeps changing. It just says 13 now for some reason, but it says the seats went up. It must be because of like some I don't know what.
But okay, so how many seats are up for grabs for this?
Okay, the German Parliament, the Bundestag has.
And is this election for all of them or some of them?
I'm not sure if anybody could look that up.
So I have a question. I'm curious about this. How do you think Merkel and such will react to this? Do you think they'll actually try and compromise a bit regarding their policies, try to be more conservative, or do you think they'll double down and just try to get everyone to hate the AFD?
I think one at a time.
Black should go first.
Okay.
No, let Black should go first.
Okay, so I think that sort of you're sort of right, but I think that probably doubling down and trying to paint the AFD in a bad light is the more likely of the two options. But I mean, I guess it really just depends on how much Merkel sort of, basically just how much this election made Merkel shit her pants. How much did the AFD scare her? Because if the AFD scared her enough, she may just she may either like if the AFD scared her enough, she may actually start going back on some of the stuff she's been doing. Right? If they like if Merkel just sees this as a small or not even a small one, but just like a setback, a temporary setback, then she'll just attack the AFD and not change at all.
I mean, if she starts going back on the stuff she's been doing, she definitely won't. Even if she does that, she definitely won't paint it in the light of, oh, we're compromising with the AFD. She'll just kind of do it as nonchalantly as possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I think. I mean, the thing is, if she did start walking it back, it would seem like it would be more like. I mean, that would still hurt her because that would get all her like left wing or pro refugee rape future.
Yeah.
Haha.
She's really gone full left in the end. I don't really
yeah.
think that she's
Although
going
she voted against gay marriage in Germany.
Sure, but I mean, she's already for the most part abandoned her conservative constituencies, and they probably are the ones who went for AFD this time. I don't think she'll have any problems at all shilling for the left anymore.
I guess the question I have is, do you think that in the long term, the CU and the SFP will just try to hope that enough migrants come in that it would actually tip the voter, like change the voter base enough that it would actually tip the scales in favor of them, even if the natives don't actually change their mind about them in the near future?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that's what they might try to hope that the whole migrancy situation gives them enough new voters that they don't even have to change their strategy.
I mean, again, I think if Merkel and Schultz go really hard after the AFD, I was just thinking like, well, then the AFD, they could try a strategy of like playing themselves as the underdog, but the problem is that that's sort of an American thing. Americans are much more sort of sympathetic to a underdog trying to fight against a larger system. Germans, I keep hearing, are a lot more sort of accepting of like, of whatever authority is over them.
I mean, given their history, yeah, that's.
But the thing that I don't like is that like people say, well, Germany's a very collectivist culture. It's like maybe compared to the UK and America, but it's like Germany and France are more collectivist than Britain and America, but it's like Germany and France are way more. They're individualistic compared to like China, obviously.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that's more of a product of Christianity than anything else.
Yeah. Well, and just sort of Western civilization writ large,
So Christianity.
One of the arguments is, I think Western civilization is like 80-90% Christianity, 10-20% like Greek philosophy.
Yeah,
Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato.
Mm.
But yeah, like I think like it's like Germany does have a history of a lot of sort of popular upheavals. Like they've had a number of at least attempted revolutions, like 1848, 1849, when they tried to rise up against the they tried to form a sort of liberal constitutional empire, and Bismarck and Wilhelm I said no.
Nope.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been Wilhelm. It would have been Frederick IV, or Frederick Wilhelm IV, not Wilhelm I.
I think we've pretty much reached the end of this. So,
how did you want to end this? Hold on, Blackjack. You said you knew how to end.
Yes. How are we going to end the stream? I think.
Deutschland über alles.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. We'll do it.
Why are we listening to football?
Go!
Copyright, you bastard! I am muting him.
I was about to say Telenova is going to be all up on your ass.
Oh damn! I was hearing. I was listening to like the ABC News played a stupid clip about the NFL being upset at Trump again. I thought it was like you playing that, Blackjack.
Oh no!
I had no idea. I confused everyone. I've tricked you all, but I know. I guess we ended just. Shall we just go around and give our final thoughts? British Inquisition.
I could read another Tumblr post.
Yeah, that's
okay. Read one more Tumblr post, and then we'll go around.
All right. Let me find one.
Yeah, I gotta go. So I'll wait.
Right. These are. These are really entertaining to read.
All right, read it.
All right.
Do it.
Now that I'm sitting here and contemplating the preliminary results of the election, there is one thing in my mind: resistance. Everyone, please, for the next year, speak out against every Nazi injustice wherever and whenever you can. We have to fight and stay strong. Discuss, demand, march, protest, resist. Don't let hatred win. Don't let that be Germany's legacy.
Wait, so this party does not even is like less than it's not even a fifth of the German parliament. Apparently, this means now Germany is under Nazi control.
Yeah, I guess.
What?
Basically.
What? Well, I don't think these leftists they don't like Merkel either because like they don't like the CDU either because they're not left wing enough.
Yeah, they don't like anything that isn't explicitly Marxist socialist. We know.
Oh, Tumblr.
All right, so y'all want to go around and give. Well, yeah. Unless anybody has any interesting topics I want to talk about. I mean, from what I'm seeing right now, just the Google thing, it shows projected so CDU CSU 239 seats, SPD at 150, AFD at 94, FDP at 77, the Die Linke 65, and Green Party at 65. So. Good showing for AFD. But all right, everyone, British Inquisition, do you want to give your final thoughts?
Yes, just in regards to the points made before, I think if Merkel did go a bit more right wing, so go back on some policies, it might actually hurt the AFD. Obviously, I don't know what it would do to her in terms of her left wing support. It depends how far she goes with those policies, but I think that might hurt their ability to actually get much more of a showing in future elections. I think they would possibly do better if they kind of double down on the rhetoric and just keep on calling them Nazis. I think the more they go that way, the more that people will kind of go the AfD because they don't want the alternative. Although, unfortunately, it's still 4 years off, really, before they can, or how long it is before they can get more power, if you see what I mean.
Pius?
Oh, I think that this is, in the long run, it's really not going to change all that much unless the AfD can play their cards strategically. If they're smart and they use this minority position to just blame the left and Merkel's government for pretty much everything that goes wrong in the next few years, they might be able to win a larger minority and then eventually progress on to a majority. But in all honesty, I think they're going to cook something up and a lot of won't come of this, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. Luca, you came recently, but do you have anything to say? You're actually on continental Europe.
Well, basically, my opinion is same as Pius. If they really play their cards right, I believe that they can, make something useful. I believe, and I believe that in Germany there's a lot of pressure. There's this feeling that Merkel will always win. So there is no point voting for, I don't know, AfD or any other party, It's basically, I mean, it's the same thing as is in my country, There is no point on voting for small parties. But I believe in the next election, because in this election AfD did won a lot of seats. Well, some seats. So basically, I believe that in the next election it will encourage a lot of people to vote for them. But yeah, basically, I agree with Pius.
Chris?
Yes. I think that it's sort of I think this is actually inevitable in the sense that it's pretty natural for a political system to go towards the left, back towards the right, and so forth. And I think this is just pretty much the beginning of that. And at least within the German voting demographic, I think with the Muslims slowly becoming a major part of voting demographics, I think that might change a few things, and they are definitely going to have to push a lot harder, but I think it's still inevitable.
Okay. Anarcho Rain.
Glad to see that the right wings, that a real right-wing party now has a foothold in German elections, and I look forward to see what they will do with it. That is all.
All right, an American Mick.
Well, I think I think no matter what happens, I think Merkel's going to have a very hard time, and I think that is going to be the best thing that'll ever happen to Germany. And really, what happens in Germany really ultimately decides the fate of the European Union, in my opinion. So, if the more things rattle and shake in the Union, the better. Really, that's my thought.
I'll give my final thoughts before we sign off. Yeah, this was a bit of a pleasant surprise. Again, I don't think we should look for politics to fix everything, but I think it is an encouragement that, like, because of this result, shows there are a good amount of people in Germany that do want to change the system, and I think that, you know, from my position, the AFDs, they should start looking for allies with the DP or any other party that might take them. Make themselves a palatable alternative. Obviously, continue to distance themselves from like the real far right, and I think rattle Merkel's cage as much as they possibly can. And I think rattling it from the inside. If you have the third largest party in Germany, you know, which is like the heart of the EU, screaming, "We want to get out of the EU and destroy it." That's interesting. But thank you, everybody, for watching and for joining on. Have a good day. Guten Tag.